and let us all do we can to build a better future.
Turns out progressives are being ignored. That's right, corporate media is talking about how there's this big distrust between centrists and liberals, even though we all know the real truth. Centrists and liberals are the same thing. Same picture, same view outside, bleak and black. That's what we're seeing. So we got this video from Case Study TV. Let's be able to pull it to the side, and everyone, if I had to sit through this, so do you, because this is downright laughable.
Tony, you've been following all the twists and turns, too, and you're writing that in the rest of this year now, Democrats are going to have to wade through what you describe as treacherous political terrain, with centrists and liberals still not, trust falling into each other's arms at this point.
Right. I mean, we had a big deal between centrists and liberals that allowed that infrastructure package to move forward just a few days ago. And that is essentially what gave us this November 15th deadline of sorts by which House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has pledged to start considering the rest of the Democrats' spending ambitions. But that being said, there's a lot of concern among liberals that moderates still want to cut back that $1.75 trillion package. And there's a lot of concern among moderates that that package simply isn't paid for. And that's on top of a whole host of unresolved policy challenges.
This infrastructure package is Build Back Better. However which way you want to word it, here's the real fact. We're not getting Medicare for all. We're not getting universal basic income. We're not getting Federal Jobs Guarantee Act. We're not really doing anything about climate change. We're not stopping regime change wars. We're not dealing with we're not fixing student debt or medical debt. There's nothing in the bill, any of the bills, that's going to help out working class Americans. And this whole idea of distrust between centrists and liberals, it's the same thing. A liberal is a centrist is a liberal, and if they're part of the Democratic establishment, it's a little fancy title that they go back and forth on, but what about the progressives? The people who we elected in there to cause a ruckus, to fight back. I said this on the show before, but the Democrats, they really make their case very clear in order to make voters be uninspired to turn out to vote for them. What is this victory? And especially when it comes down to the Republican establishment too, saying that Biden has a victory, or how could the Republicans support any of Biden's bills? The bills don't help working class Americans. We're still being evicted from our homes. We're still dealing with this pandemic. Where are the progressives? Where are the fighters at? They're being bullied into submission, changing their no votes to present, or either that, turning a blind eye to the actions of the Democratic establishment. We brought this up on the show during the 2020 presidential election cycle, that if Biden were to be elected into office, the ruckus, the pushback, the yelling, the activism, everyone screaming from the rooftop about how corrupt our system is, would be silent. Because everyone's at brunch. And while they're at brunch, they're all kind of celebrating this fake victory over this Build Back Better. At the bare minimum, we need $10 trillion to invest into our infrastructure. The progressives should have been fighting back since day one. But because, hey, Bernie Sanders, you're a good friend, you're not going to rock the boat. AOC, I guess Biden exceeds all expectations. Progressives giving him a thumbs up. And now at the last minute, are they automatically saying, wait, something's not right? This doesn't inspire me, or it shouldn't inspire anyone else to turn out to vote for the Democrats during the midterm election cycle. All right, we got a little echo there. But nonetheless, as a final note for this story, where are the progressives? They've been silenced. When it comes down to the progressives fighting back, they're nowhere to be found. This is why we need to start really taking the initiative of building strong third parties, infrastructure to build third parties across this country. Because if we don't build this infrastructure now, if we don't start pushing back now and actually building movements outside the DNC and RNC, things will get worse. We have to fight for that better future. And the first step is cutting ourselves loose from the two-party system that's basically a one-party system for the top 1%.